Horses evolved in North America millions of years ago, and then crossed to Europe and Asia by a land bridge. They soon spread throughout Europe and Asia, but then, at the end of the Ice Age about 10,000 years ago, they went extinct in North America because of the extreme climate change. They began going extinct in Europe and Asia too, and soon they were only left in a dry, harsh grassland environment called the steppe in Central Europe and Asia. Horses were first domesticated about 5,500 years ago by the Botai people. Large numbers of bones were found at the archaeological site in modern-day Kazakhstan, suggesting that these people depended on horses. They most likely used the horses for transportation and also for milk and meat. It's possible that they even used domesticated horses to help them hunt wild horses on the steppes. Further evidence for the Botai domesticating horses is shown by a chemical analysis of residue found in their pottery, which was found to have come from mare's milk. Soon, horses spread throughout Europe and Asia, and by 2000 BC had pretty much reappeared throughout Europe and Asia. Horses gained associations with wealth and aristocracy, and were recognized for their strategic importance in warfare. Chariots and cavalry became a very important part of the military of many civilizations, including ancient Greece, as shown by this picture here that I took way too much time on. Also in ancient Greece, the sport of chariot racing was developed, and horses became of huge cultural importance there. Now we'll take a look at medieval England just for an example of how horses rose to prominence in agriculture. New developments towards the end of the first millennium actually made it practical for horses to be used for agriculture for the first time, such as horseshoes and many different improvements to harnesses and vehicles. A survey in 1086 showed that only 5% of draft animals in England were horses. Oxen were much preferred for plowing due to their great strength. However, people realized that horses were much faster than oxen and could take goods to market much more efficiently. They became especially important for peasant farmers looking to cut production costs, because their versatility meant they could be used for both plowing and for hauling vehicles. Their great speed in transporting goods helped increase trade and open new markets around the entire country. Horses were reintroduced to North America by Spanish conquistadors during the Columbian Exchange. Their presence became a significant driving force behind the development of the New World. They also were a huge benefit for Native Americans. They helped them hunt bison on the plains and trade with the settlers. Horses continue to be important in America, especially with increasing urbanization. In cities before and during the Industrial Revolution, they served two very important roles: transportation and sources of power. In fact, during the 1800s, American cities with 100,000 or more residents averaged one horse for every 15 people. Now that's a lot of horses. So there were a lot of different types of horse-based transportation, but basically they transported goods and people, just like cars and trucks do today. As for power, horses powered a lot of things, basically anything that would be powered by electricity today. And because they did this before electrical and steam power were widely available, they kind of gave people the potential to develop and use a bunch of industrial machines and technologies that they wouldn't be able to otherwise. So basically, horses had huge impacts on human civilization and really helped it advance and flourish. This video has only covered a few specific examples, but one of the broader and probably one of the most significant impacts was that the transportation, the quick speed of horses really helped human society become globalized and helped different civilizations actually become connected to each other. And the craziest thing about all of this is that the Botai people couldn't have had any idea that by domesticating horses, they were going to influence the course of human history for the next 5,000 years. Because, they couldn't have known that horses were going to revolutionize warfare, agriculture, industry, transport, trade, and all sorts of other things. And even though most of the historic uses of the horse have now been replaced by cars, planes, trains, tractors, trucks, trailers, trolleys, fighter jets, tanks, drones, electricity, robots, motors, engines, and a lot of other modern technology, horses will always hold a special place in our hearts, especially since in recent years, our view of them has kind of shifted. We no longer think of them as just economically beneficial work animals. We realize that They make wonderful companions and friends, and we can bond with them through sports like riding and racing. Check out the rest of the website for more information on modern human-equine relations and things like sports and equine therapy.